Welcome everybody to the Brother Speak podcast. This is Brother Speak. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, early morning, just got off of work early and thought, hey, let's do this podcast. I was hearing a lot of stuff about uh Jackson and Derrick Jackson. There was so many crazy live streams that's been about this, and I just gotta say, personally, the Jackson was messed up. Let's just keep it a buck. Uh, you know, even before she got into a relationship with Derrick Jackson, she was messed up in the head. You know, if you go back into her past, she didn't have a relationship with her father that she wanted, and that continued until she died. I mean, till he died. So she never had a relationship with her father. And when you calling your mother a side piece, yeah, that could tell you right there what type of relationship you have with your own mother. I'm like, damn, I don't care if my mother was a side piece of everybody. I'm not calling my mother a side piece. So you have a situation where you don't have a good relationship with your father, you don't have a good relationship with your mother. Then she go to college and she gets touched by somebody, some guy, who knows? We don't know. And you have all this going around in your head, and then you meet Derek. And within 3 weeks after you got touched, not to mention your daddy issues, your mommy issues, and you get in a relationship with this guy who was a football player. He was charming, according to her, and you try to date, but it don't go nowhere because he don't see you as something special. You're just another chick around, smart chick who can help him get through school. But past that, just not really, somebody he will want to spend his life with. So he kept you around as well. She kept herself around as a available body for him to stick his penis in. She was in his rotation. She's coming in the evening. The chick was leaving. Then she made the mistake of getting pregnant. So she threatened to take his kid away, and so he ended up marrying her. And because he wanted to have his child, he wanted to be around his child, or it might have been an ego thing, one of the two. Who knows? And but you clearly, from his actions, clearly he didn't want to be married. Um he was there out of obligation to see his children. And his actions proved that he really didn't want to be married. But thanks to, I guess, his mother and her mother, he was trying to fix everything. But then Tasha K thing came out, and so now he's got to talk about this stuff. And now he's putting his wife, who really was trying to be a private person, and now he putting her on Jump Street, and all that stuff is going around. Trying counseling, but all her issues, and she's trying to be in the Lord and not understanding what it is to be in the Lord. It's just causing a whole lot of chaos, to the point where he just said, "Fuck it, I'm out." So that's it in a nutshell of that relationship. And oh, I forgot the whole. She was trying to use some guy to make Derrick jealous, and he didn't give a fuck because the only thing that made him want to marry her was the fact that she had his child. And clearly, we can tell that he cares about his children, his seed, because the nurse that he had was trying to abort was aborting his baby, and he had a hissy fit about that. So, but other than that, he really didn't care about his wife. And to be fair, his wife wasn't his wife. That was his groupie. Now, I know somebody was like, "Well, how was it? He married her? Yeah, he married her." But again, that's like a R&B singer marrying a groupie. I mean, let's think about it. Like, you got the R&B singer, he comes out, he sings all these love songs and how to treat like one in particular, Babyface. Uh, I'll cook your dinner too, soon as I get home from work. And you know, women were falling for it, throwing panties on the stage, trying to get him to fall for it. And you know, he's just singing his song. He ain't care. And some of the women coming around, you know, he gonna partake. And you got the groupie trying everything to get with him. Oh, I'll love you. I'll do all this. He's like, well, okay. He ain't paying much attention. And then finally, you know, the groupie somehow convinced him to be in a relationship. That's basically what was Derek and Denia's relationship. Denana was his groupie. She was willing to be in the rotation, buying her time. She tried to make him jealous. He didn't give a shit because he was doing him. You know, how you gonna be jealous when you getting all this vagina? Kind of hard to be jealous. He didn't think of her as anything special. And then the only reason why again, she's trying everything. You listen to how she described him. He was charming. He was he was just this muscular guy, handsome guy is talking to me. And you know, in her eyes, that was her God. So she's trying to do everything to get him to notice her, be with her solely, but it's not working. She tried a boyfriend, didn't work, and she tried to, you know, have be part of rotation. Maybe he'll notice me then. You know, being a fanboy, a fangirl of his, that didn't work. You know, maybe you know she was tutoring him. Maybe he'll show appreciation. That didn't work. So finally, the only thing that worked was getting pregnant by him. And because he cared about his children, not her, but the children, he ended up marrying her. Now I heard one thing they were saying that well Derek had to marry her because it would have ruined his brand, and I'm like, how? That wouldn't have ruined his brand. All he had to do was literally because the idea, like I said, Derek was like an R&B singer. A lot of R&B singers play off to the fact that were these women believe that he's available. This hot, sexy guy who sings so beautifully, talking about how he gonna take care of her, how he's gonna put it down in the bedroom, and but he's single, he's available. So all I gotta do if I dress a certain way, be naked or something like that, I'll just get him. That's the same thing with the nut. Like even in the interview, she said she saw she looked at his phone and saw the women he was dealing with, the sexual acts that they were doing on the phone. So she wanted to do those same sexual acts that she saw these women are doing, trying to get with him, but it wasn't working. So the only thing that worked was having a baby. And even that wasn't even working until she threatened to take her and a child and move to Denver where he would never see her. That finally got his attention. But even, but, and she won. She got her hero to marry her. That's no different than a lot of R&B singers or rappers who get the stripper pregnant or get the IG model pregnant, and they get pregnant, and now they latch on to him. But that eventually don't work because he never cared about her that much anyway. The same with Derrick. Derrick was that rapper. Derrick was that R&B star that she had a baby, so he tried to make it work for the children. Either because maybe he wanted the children, maybe it was out of obligation. I don't know this man's family like don't care. But that didn't even work for long because again, he really didn't want to be with her. She was a groupie. She was his groupie. She wasn't someone that he respected. I would venture to guess he wasn't somebody she wasn't somebody he even liked. But he tried to make it work. He got pressure from his family, pressure from her family, and but the problem is with a lot of groupies are obsessed. And a lot of times with groupies, to be so obsessed with somebody at times, there's some mental issues. And with the Nana, she had a lot of mental issues. Again, she had daddy issues. She never had a good relationship with her dad and never got to get to that good relationship before he passed away. Never had a good relationship with her mom. Again, when you call your mom a side piece, that should let you know what kind of relationship y'all on. Then she got raped. Okay, so it's like stuff that she wasn't dealing with, and you're bringing it into his lap. I don't care if Derrick Jackson was a good dude. He was behind the eight ball before he even began, and that's if he actually cared. That relationship still would have failed because she never dealt with her issues. She buried all her issues deep, deep, deep within the earth, and she made Derrick Jackson her savior, her idol. She started dressing like a guy because she wanted to be like her idol. You see some of these women, they dress like some of these women even dress like their favorite rapper or R&B singer. Some of them will have tattoos of them on their arm. Yeah, I mean, she was nothing but a groupie, and you can't have a good relationship with someone who's a groupie. Hey, Tampa Supreme, how you doing, man? There's no way you can have a good relationship with someone who is your groupie. You can't because they're not going to challenge you. Everything you say is what it is. until you don't do what they say. And then when you don't do what they say, that's when the problems come in. You take away that godhood that you had. And that's that's what happened. And but guess what? With all her issues, that pushed him further away. That's why he had her in the mansion, but he in the condo. Think about that. He in the he put her in the mansion. He in the condo. He had to get away from this chick because she was messed up in the head. Oh yeah, I forgot about the three abortions. I forgot about that. Thank you, Tampa Supreme. You reminded me. Not to mention daddy issues, mama issues. She got raped and had three abortions. She was just a powder keg of a problem, which was ready to blow. And you know, D. Durrell had said something. Well, Derrick knew that this chick had problems. I don't think Derrick knew. Matter of fact, she even said that Derrick didn't know any of this. And again, that's just like any rapper on R&B singer, or you can put an athlete in there. You don't know what issues these groupies be having. All you know that oh she likes me. She's shying me with affection, and she'll be willing to give it up any time to come on the bus, be all naked, and some of these dudes will partake. He don't know nothing. So even if he had a thought process that she might have a problem, he's not caring. And again, even in the best of situation that he actually cared, there's still this relationship was still not going to go anywhere because again, she was a groupie. She was not his wife. She idolized him. He was a god to her. She wanted to be him. She wanted to be the women that she wanted to be the women that he was sleeping with. She wanted to be everything for him. I think somebody said it. Who was it? It was a lady on uh, Chaos Reign's channel. It was a no. Let me take that. Uh, I take that back. That was on BMT's channel, and they were talking about Denia, and they said she's a people pleaser, and it fits in because she was trying to be everything he wanted to be. And that's why I said, like, he's a group. A group is a people pleasers. They trying to be whatever their favorite star is. And when when it's shown that he wasn't what she thought he was, then she tried to change him. She tried to force religion down his throat. And I can tell you personal experience. You can't force religion down someone's throat because if they not ready, they just not ready. And lot of these religious thumpers can be really crazy. I remember I went to this with the church with my ex-wife. My ex-wife was the Church of Christ, and we had one pastor over there, and I mean, we took a friend. It was a white chick. Took her to the church. He just came at her like, "You going to hell," and all kinds of. I mean, just going in, scared the poor woman because she was a Baptist like I was. You can't do stuff like that. People gonna think you cuckoo, which Derrick thought she was cuckoo. That's why he cut off the phone, aka had a financial crisis. No, the financial crisis is this chick crazy. Let me cut the phone off. I got this bitch cray. She up there seeing ghosts and shit. She trying to say I'm a demon and shit. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that. Click. So even in the best situation, that would have been a problem. She was a groupie. And a groupie is never going to help the R&B singer, the rapper, or if you had a woman that was a groupie in your life, she's not going to help you achieve anything. She's not going to give you no pushback. She's not going to get you uh, any critiques. It's your word is law. That's why when I remember some guys will say you want your woman to see you as your superhero. Well, the problem with your woman seeing you as your superhero is this is the example. Denaya saw Derek as her superhero, her savior. You don't want that from a wife because inevitably you're human. You're going to fail. You may slip up and cheat, or maybe you do something that really hurts her besides cheating. Because there's other things you can do besides cheating to hurt a woman. I should know. Being married, you can find out that you intentionally, unintentionally, you can do something that hurts your wife very bad, and you like, what in the fuck? So it's like again, and once that godhood is taken away, the relationship crumbles. You know, so that was it. There, Denai Jackson was Derrick Jackson's groupie. That's all she was. She didn't see his flaws until when she got married. She didn't see any of that. All she saw was this is the guy that showed me attention. This is the guy who he was this handsome football player. Didn't matter he was like bottom lower tier player. He was just a good looking dude who paid her some attention. Attention that she probably didn't get, at least my opinion. And even she said herself in the interview that she had, she wasn't the prettiest woman in the world. She's not like she is now. And so, the football player paid me attention. And now she's obsessed. Again, groupie. She was never a wife. She was just a groupie. She was doing everything to maintain. Now, there was one thing that was said on, I think it was Platinum Elite's channel, that, well, if Derrick Jackson didn't marry Denana, that would have ruined his brand. And I'm like, first of all, nobody knew he was married. Not very many people knew he was married. Not many people knew he was in a relationship. Even his ex-wife, Denana, said the same thing. Nobody knew she was married. Nobody knew he was married. And she was not the type to go out in public. So even if let's just say she went and took the kids away, you think she was gonna go out and tell everybody about him? Nah. So if he had just decided that, hey, okay, take the kids, bounce, I'll just come whenever. All he had to say was, we were married, and well, we were together. It just didn't work out, and but we were co-parenting and all this kind of said, all that kind of stuff. That would if anything, that would have made it even. That would have raised his popularity even more. So him getting married wouldn't have hurt. I would say, I would venture, getting married messed up his brand. Case in point, Usher. When Usher got married to, what was her name, Tamika Raymond, I remember he had a concert, and one lady called the radio station and said, "You know what? He don't look right. He look old. He I, don't- she didn't feel the being around him. That's what would have happened to Derrick Jackson. That would not have helped his career. If he would have came out, I'm married, bye bye. That the whole appeal of Derrick Jackson was the fact that he was attainable. He was a dude who was saying that it was not your fault, and this attractive guy, good looking, saying what they wanted to hear, that it was all these men fault, these men ain't shit, and you're perfect just the way you are. He could have kept that going, and nobody would have been wiser. And let me look at these comments. Good. Yeah. So so again, the Nia Jackson was a groupie. That's all she was. Derek didn't have to marry her. His career would have been just fine. Matter of fact, I think if he were coming out being if they were co-parenting and showing that they were co-parenting, trust and believe, his popularity would have been just fine. Because again, it's one thing if it came out that he was cheating and all this stupid stuff. But if he was showing that he was co-parenting, and that even though they broke up, they co-parenting, he's treating the woman right, his popularity would just stay right the same. Matter of fact, probably would have got bigger. So I don't see how him he had to get married. He didn't have to get married. There was another thing that was said that, like I was saying again, they were saying that the Nana was a narcissist, and they were the reason why they were saying she was a narcissist because of the fact that um, she didn't have no empathy for him. She was trying to take the kids to force him to marry her, and she made the whole doing the interview was about her, and and I'm trying to understand, why would you think she's a narcissist? It was crazy. She was manipulative. Okay, well, a lot of us are manipulative. You know, my ex-wife was manipulative. She manipulated me to do stuff. I manipulated her to do stuff. That's a normal human interaction. We will try to manipulate each other to do stuff that we may or may not want to do. How many times you'll, if you were married, how many times have your wife manipulated you into buying her some kind of jewelry, buy, taking her to this restaurant that she really likes? I know my ex-wife used to do that, buying a phone and stuff like that. And how many times we manipulate her to do some things for us that she really wouldn't want to do? I mean, that's normal interaction. That's not narcissism. And the whole thing, her taking the kids away, yeah, that was manipulative. That was very manipulative. I know somebody was trying to say that wasn't manipulative. Yeah, that was manipulative because she was trying to get him to marry her again, trying to get her to trying to win. You know, trying to get him to do what she wanted him to do, which is marry her and be a husband. You know, finally gain the approval of her hero. And so that's manipulative, but that don't make her a narcissist. And again, I don't think even Derrick was a narcissist, considering, um, because considering that the fact he was kind of he felt forced to marry her, which he didn't. Now you can make the argument about the whole thing about bringing her out there in the bonnet and stuff, that he really didn't care about how she looked. He was more focused on saving his brand. Okay, you can make that argument. That's a trait, but that don't make him a fucking narcissist. He was desperate to save his brand. The only thought about was the brand. He didn't care about how it made her look, or it made him look. Because let's face it, you get your woman out there in a fucking bonnet, looking raggedy, and you looking great. That's some weirdo shit, to be honest. Hey Shannon, what's up, man? What is up? I mean, so him being a narcissist, I can't really put him as a narcissist. I think Derek was in a no-win situation from the start. Si- From the start of this relationship, he was in a no-win situation. He was behind the eight ball. Now, did he made it better? No. Just especially with the marriage, he up there bringing women to the house and just not being a good husband. I mean, let's face it, he was doing some stupid shit. But I can't be too hard on him because, again, his wife was a groupie. His wife was not a wife. It was trying to win his approval. Then it turned into trying to make him better. She was always trying to make him fit into what she wanted him to be. And you can't do that with anybody. And again, like I said, she had a whole bunch of problems going in. So her bias towards him, and it goes back to that she did not love him for him. She loved the idea of him. Like I said, that was her idol. She wanted to be him because she was so messed up in the head. That was her God. And when it didn't work out, then she went to God. And she didn't do that very well either, because it's like they say in the Bible, you can't serve two masters. She was trying to serve two masters. She was trying to serve Derek, and then she was trying to serve God. And and she fumbled both bags. So the end result is she wasn't a wife. She was a groupie. And Derrick married a groupie. And it got so bad that he filed divorce. How many men filed for divorce? Not that many. I mean, you want to make the argument that, like, most of the time that they were married, they didn't spend time together because he never wanted to be with her. She was a groupie, just to be, just to see her when he come to town or something like that, like any R&B singer. When all these women come around, hey, yeah, I'll see you next time I come through Houston. That what deny was to Derrick. Yeah, you can come through. I'll lay the pipe down. We can talk a few minutes. Then you gotta go. I got another chick coming through. And and she just happened to get pregnant after 3 abortions. Which to me is crazy, man. That was crazy. Again, let's look at this. 3 abortions. 3 abortions. Think about that. You know she was messed up. And then all of a sudden she want to get pregnant. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. She was trying to get her hero, and I believe, this is my opinion, she got those abortions because she didn't want to disappoint Derrick. I'm not saying that Derrick forced her to do it. I don't even know if she was messing around. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Don't know. But I do know one thing: she got 3 abortions, and she got 3 abortions for a reason. And then you have to think about the whole thing. She was trying to be those women, and it got so bad that she hated her own daughter because she was the daughter took after her father, was dark skinned like the women he was messing with. Didn't even like her daughter. I'm like, that's crazy. But again, it all the whole thing. She was a groupie. She didn't even have the baby because she wanted to have a child. No, she had a child because of him, her idol. She gave of her body so that he could continue his bloodline. And with that, to finally make him choose her. Again, groupie behavior, man. This all this screams is that this woman was a groupie. He wasn't she wasn't anything, she didn't see herself no more no less than a groupie trying to be a wife and failed. And I believe they're finally seeing it, and he's like, "This chick crazy. I gotta go." And so he filed the divorce and got out of there. Now he's living the life he wanted to live, and now she's going and tell everybody about the business. Which, by the way, on a side note, and Shannon, maybe you can answer, if you agree with me or not. I just find it very odd that Tasha did this hit piece on Derrick Jackson just after Derrick and Kevin Samuels started feuding. Because if you remember, Tasha did an interview with Kevin and she was softballing questions to him. Then Derrick and Kevin got into it because Kevin was affecting his brand, you know, And then all of a sudden, this hit piece comes from Tasha K about Derrick. All the women just showed up out of nowhere. I I believe that Kevin hired Tasha K to do that hit piece on Derrick Jackson. That's why I believe. Because it's just way too close. Just way too close. Maybe I don't know, Shane. If you still here, if you agree with me, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I'm just saying, there were how you do this soft piece on Kevin Samuels, who was going in on black women, but you do a hit piece on Derrick, who, in my opinion, never went in on black women. You didn't even know about the issue with his wife until these. I believe that too. That I thank you, Shannon. I trust me. I've been saying that people was like, nah, that ain't true. It don't make sense. Nah, but Tasha K did an interview with Derrick, I mean with Kevin, where like softball questions she didn't even go in on. And this dude was going in on black women. Derrick Jackson never went on black women. He was literally telling them what they want to hear. And she do a hit piece. And not only that, I don't even think she interviewed Derrick Jackson at all. I'm like, come on now. Mm-mm. That's interesting. You put that together. I mean, it just it. I- I'm like, I'm just saying this. Kevin gets an interview. She's not going in on him or nothing, and they having a decent interview. Derek, who never went on black women at all, been telling them what they want to hear, going literally helping the sisterhood against black men, especially talking about the red pillars and the manosphere. He gets a hit piece talking about how he's messed with all these women. Come on now. I tell you, Kevin was a dirty, dirty, dirty motherfucker. I tell you. And it made sense when you heard about the whole thing with Fresh and Fit. How he got Donovan and O'Shea to go after Fresh and Fit. I'm just saying. But that's just a side note. I just thought that was very interesting. But back to the Nana. I mean, like I said, she was a groupie. And she was doing everything to please her idol. And again, it just wasn't enough because a groupie cannot be a wife. But it does make sense for real, for real. Kevin was known to sabotaging. Yeah, try to sabotage Fresh and Fit. I mean, try to mess with Tommy. I mean, it's just like, come on. It's it's like even Minister Jeff said, yeah, he fucked with people's platforms because they were competition. So it would make sense that, especially when they both in the same market. It's just they on different sides of coin, and women would run into Kevin because he was a nice dressly man, and he was he and just either to argue with him or they see him as this father figure. Yeah, that was messing with Derek's money. I mean, like I said, and all of a sudden, all this stuff come out about Derek after he was messing with Kevin. which is fucked up. And you still got people saying, well, if Derrick wouldn't have got married, his brand would have been destroyed. I'm like, when his wife didn't even want nobody to, she didn't want that the public eye. He literally had to beg her to get on an interview with him to discuss their whole marriage and stuff. You think she would have told everybody, considering the fact that she would want to be in the rotation? Think about it. If she was even like I heard about the narcissist thing, let's just think about it. What kind of narcissist would stay in a rotation, not even be number one? She number, she like the bottom bitch. What narcissist is gonna be the bottom bitch of a rotation, if at all? But a groupie would. A groupie would be the bottom bitch. Groupie would be until she saw her opportunity when she got pregnant. Just like these strippers and IG models, they get with their idol and just magically they get pregnant. Like I don't know what. All of a sudden, I'm pregnant. Just like Freddie Gibbs and his chick. What was her name? I don't know her name. She up there paying his phone bill and stuff, but she saw opportunity because he don't know what a condom is. She got pregnant, and then when he dipped. Now she telling everybody all. Now he's Freddie Gibbs. You know, again, a lot of these women be groupies for guys. That's why when they say, "Well, the women are the prize. Women are the prize." Nah, not like that. You seen what these women do when they groupies for these guys? Shit, they'll be in the rotation. They'll pay bills. They give them they'll let them sleep they homeless. They let them sleep on their couch. They'll give them cars. That don't sound like that don't sound like she the prize. Like that's why I said, look, nobody's a prize. It just depends on the situation. And there are dudes who will be a groupie for a chick, and then there are chicks be groupies for men. You know, that's just that's what it is. So Denia was a groupie, and Derek got tired of it, and then there was other circumstances like the whole Tasha K thing, and that. I mean, again, that relationship had no chance at all to work. Even if Derek was a good dude and everything, it still wouldn't work because, again, she was a groupie. That was her idol. She wouldn't be able to contribute anything because she had all these different issues. She was looking for someone to save her from her daddy issues, save her from her mommy issues, save her from being raped, save her from not being appreciated. She was looking for a savior. That was Derek. Trust me, it just would not worked. And and I think that, listen, I'm not saying that you gotta like Derek. I'm not saying you got to like her either. You ain't gotta hate neither of them. Just understand this was a situation where you had two broken people, and you had one who was the star, and one was the groupie, and she was doing whatever she could to be to have her idol, and this is the result. And unfortunately, you got children involved. You got two, possibly three children involved in this mess. One that the Nana literally said she didn't like because she looked like one of those women Derek was messing with, which meant she took after her father because he's a dark skinned guy. So she's going to be repeating the cycle of what her mom, her relationship with her mom, and this is her words, not his. Derek is repeating the cycle of not being involved in his children's lives because he's so focused on that brand. At the end of the day, it's like the children are gonna suffer more than anybody, man. And it's a sad state, but this is what happens when you are not whole. And that's the main thing that men gotta take away from this. You gotta make sure the woman that you're with is whole. She's not a groupie. She's not your enemy. She don't have no mental issues that deep seated. Because again, she did not tell Derek any of her issues. She didn't even tell him when she found out he was cheating. She was looking at the phone, seeing him bang all these chicks, and didn't say nothing until they finally went to counseling, and then she just unloaded, and he was just blindsided. And that and I like D Darrell, but he's like, well, Derek knew she was messed up. I'm like, I don't think Derek knew she was messed up. I don't think he knew or cared. But as even if you are having a casual relationship with a woman, you got to know who you dealing with because man, you just don't know with these people. You got women who have mommy issues, daddy issues. They've been touched. They can be touched when they were children, touched when they're adults, and they're not gonna tell you nothing. You don't know, and you won't know. Some of them won't tell you until years later when you're married and you're having the honeymoon, and all of a sudden she don't want you to touch her no more. Now you're in a sexless marriage, and you don't even know why you're in a sexless marriage. No, you were in a sexless marriage because all her demons came out, and you unwillingly, unknowingly set off that demon. You know how I know? I had friends who were touched. I had friends who had daddy issues, family issues, and PTSD. And there are things that I would do unknowingly. I don't know nothing that would trigger her. You will go drive someplace, and you thinking you just driving, and she's acting funny, like what's going on, or you touch her in a certain way, and it's a problem. You talk in a certain tone, and it bothers them. See, these things you got to watch out for. Nobody's going to tell you that. They'll tell you like you're a man. You can solve all her problems. You got to be her superhero. Nah, brother. You are a human being, and she should treat you as a human being. She's not supposed to look at you to like a hero because even heroes fail. She's supposed to look at you as a human being. Because if she don't, she's just a ticking time bomb waiting to go off, and you don't know when. And that's if you doing everything right. What if you are cheating? What if you are lying to her? What if you are doing physical abuse? I remember Denia said in the interview she was thinking about taking herself out the game. Who's to say she if Derrick did something that really drove her over the edge? Who's to say she wouldn't take out Derrick and the children? Who's to say? But these are things you don't know because there's some women who will hide. Just like they say men lie, women lie too. Women lie to men in these relationships too. That's why I don't like the whole gender banging stuff, especially when it comes from men. Talking about men ruin women in these relationships. Men always the liars and all that. I'm like, no, there are women who will lie to you. They don't tell you nothing. They don't tell you they past until it's too late. Now you invested. Now you find out she got touched. Now you find out she has issues with men because her daddy. And and there's some women who will be like, well, uh, well, if the men will set the tone and everything, it's like, yeah, you're right about that. But if that woman's not whole, it don't matter what tone he sets. It's still a problem. That's a ticking time bomb. So I would say to the men, make sure your woman is not a groupie. Be honest with her and be open, a lending ear. Let her be able to talk to you about certain things. Now, for me, particularly the, the women that I dealt with, they did tell me, like early in the relationship. So I kind of had a little bit of a head up than and Derek, but that still caused a lot of issues that I didn't account for. Now that I kind of knew going in, Derek didn't know this going in. So how are you expecting a young man, try to figure all this out? And then for the woman, the groupie, to unload all her demons in a counseling session when it was supposed to be about the marriage, it turned into all these different demons coming out. All the stuff that she found out about him cheating and all that kind of stuff, and all this obsession that she had with these women and stuff. How would you feel finding that out? And how would you take it? Like he said, he ran out of that. No, we ain't doing counseling no more. I can't blame him for that. This woman that you married now, all of a sudden you find out all this crazy stuff. She was literally obsessed over you. Would you be cool with her like that after that? And on top of that, now she got your child. Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm not pro Derek, but I'm like, I'm empathetic to Derek. He was in just a no-win situation, and no matter how much y'all may hate this guy, because the whole thing of telling these women when they want to hear, and contributing to the gender war, considering the situation that was in, you know, I'm empathetic. I'm not sympathetic, but I'm empathetic. And, I think he was just in a bad position. And it didn't help that he was he couldn't keep it in his pants. That didn't help either. Made the situation worse, but again, he got involved with a groupie. He married a groupie. And you're trying to make the groupie happy, but once she has an idea of what you want, what she wants you to be, and you don't fit it, it's not gonna work. Ain't nothing you can do to make her happy. And you be trying to conform to what she want. It's just like with R&B singers and rappers, where they try to conform to what the fans want, when a lot of times that might not be them. So, to my men out here, make sure your woman is not a groupie. Make sure she is a woman. Make sure whatever issues she do got, she's going to get counseling. Not to the church, to counseling. Go get a therapist. Be her support for that. You may not even you may not even need to be in a relationship with her, because clearly Denia didn't need to be in a relationship at all. Be a support. Be a support. But I would definitely tell any young men, if you 19, 18, 19, you got to come across a woman with all these issues, don't get involved with her. Be a friend, encourage her to get therapy. Now, if you're an older man, if she ain't going to no therapy, she can't even tell you what therapist she going to. Don't get involved with her. It's never gonna end well. It's never gonna end well. And even if she has a therapist, it's a high probability it's not gonna end well. But hey, if you see some good in her, you want to take the risk, that's you. But just know what you're dealing with. And again, make sure she is not your groupie. Okay. But anyway, thank you, Tampa Supreme, for coming through. Thank you, Shannon B, for coming through. And this it was very interesting to see people have these ideas of Denia Jackson and Derrick Jackson, and you could clearly tell people's biases towards these two. I don't have a bias towards either of them, because she crazy, he's a scumbag. But at the end of the day, I can see that why they were doing what they were doing. And just like I felt about, Ike, Tina, Whitney, and Bobby, it's the same thing. Everybody was going on Ike. Everybody was going on Bobby, saying how Ike ruined Tina, Bobby ruined Whitney. But not understanding that Whitney had issues before she met Bobby. Tina had issues before she met Ike. And even in the best of situations, those relationships probably wouldn't have worked. Not saying that those men made it better, but you can't put all the blame on men about women's problems in relationships. And you as men don't accept all the blame for the problems of the relationships. Don't let anybody put that on you. If you know you were doing what you supposed to do and she wasn't, you let that be known. If they want to hate you, they gonna hate you regardless. But you know what you did, and you know what you didn't do. Own up to your part, but do not take blame for her parts. Do not even let nobody blame you for her part. Because everybody got to play a part in relationships, men and women. And if you let people sell you that dream that you are the sole responsible, the solely responsible for the relationship, these people mean you no good. These people just mean you no good. Men should be the leaders. No, they want to use you, buddy. Don't let them do that to you. Okay? And with that, I am out. I'm going to take my ass to bed because I've been up all night working, but I thought I'd just do this live stream. And remember, black men, be powerful or be powerless. The choice is yours. Yeah, have a good one. Peace.